Hi everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. For today's flow, we have Dawn Patrol, which is inspired by those early morning hunts for waves. Today's flow is going to be a fluid flow and we're going to open up into our back body a little. If you're coming with me and you're playing the playlist, the link for that is in the bio. We're going to click play in 3, 2, 1, click play. And then we're going to find ourselves lying down on our backs on our mats. So come to a comfortable position, lying down on your mat. And the invitation here is to bend those knees so the heels of your feet are on the ground. Relax through the belly, relax through the back body, through the shoulders, head resting on the ground. And just take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale it all out through the mouth, maybe making a sigh. Closing the mouth, inhaling through the nose and out the nose. And we're going to start to turn on our diaphragmatic breath. I like to place one hand on my belly to feel the rise of the belly on the inhale. And then feel the belly deflate on the exhale. Continuing with this breath, low, deep breath. Down into the belly, those ribs expanding on the inhale, and then contracting on the exhale. Really turning on our diaphragm at the start of our practice to help shift us into a more relaxed state. Couple more rounds like this. One final inhale. And exhale it out. And there's the opportunity now to set an intention for your practice before we start to move. This may be a word or a thing that you want to dedicate your energy and practice towards. My offering is the intention of acceptance. I intend to accept whatever my body can and can't do in today's flow and throughout the rest of my day. And inhale to seal this intention. And exhale, let it all go. Windscreen wiping those legs from left to right and right to left. On our next inhale, we're going to come back through center and we're going to raise those feet off the ground so our knees are above our hips, placing our hands down by our side. Starting to turn on the core, we're going to lower our right foot down to the ground, tap the toe, and then bring it back up. Left foot goes down, back up. Onto the left side. One more on each side. And then coming back into the position with the bent knees, lowering the feet down to the ground. We're going to curl the shoulders off the mat and you're going to bring your hands beside your hip and we're just going to wiggle a little bit, turning on those obliques, moving at a pace that feels comfortable for you. If you want to intensify this, maybe lift up a little bit higher, maybe speed it up. We're doing this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll lower back down, taking our hands behind our knees. We're going to rock and roll up our mat 3 times. On the 3rd time, coming over those knees, we're going to find ourselves in an all fours position on the mat. Cat-cowing here, just to open up through those abdominals. And then from here, we're going to push up into our downward facing dog. So pushing through the hands, through the feet, coming into your downward facing dog. Maybe walking out your dog. This might be your first dog of the day. So maybe having a generous bend in those knees. Inhaling here, exhaling. On our inhale, we're going to come to our tiptoes and we're going to walk to the top of our mat. Forward folding at the top of the mat. Really letting the top half of the body melt down towards the ground. And then on our inhale, we're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae till we find ourselves in a standing position at the top of our mat. Moving through our sun salutations. Inhale, hands up to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step the right foot and then the left foot back, high plank, coming through your high plank to chaturanga, or maybe lowering the knees if that's in your practice. Upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog on the exhale, where we'll be for 2 rounds of breath. Really thinking about pushing down through those hands and through those feet as if you're ripping the mat apart, enabling you to lift those hips up to the sky. On our inhale, we're going to come to those tiptoes, and on the exhale, we're going to move to the top of the mat, maybe stepping the left foot and then the right foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up to your Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, back to your mountain pose. Inhale, hands to the sky, your gaze follows. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to mat, step down, back to your high plank. And then from here, we're going to lower down to our chest, coming in to our Sphinx pose. So placing your arms underneath the body in a number 11 shape, like so. Maybe spreading the feet a little bit wider than the hips, pushing down through the tops of the feet to enable you to lift the knees off the ground and engage those legs. And then really think about shining that chest up to the sky, pulling the elbows back towards the hips, shoulders away from the ears. Really opening up into the back body here. One more inhale. And on our exhale, we'll melt down to the mat. Let our head land on our hands, wiggling those hips from left to right and right to left. Going to take our right arm out to the right hand side in the cactus, and we're going to place our left hand down, and then we're going to roll our left hip on top of the right as we open up into our broken wing position. Really stretching through the right pec here and into the shoulder. It's really lovely stretch, this. And maybe that top foot doesn't find the floor, maybe it just lies on top of the bottom leg. Have a little play with it. One more breath here. Exhale, coming back through center. Maybe wiggling those hips from left to right again. And then we'll come over onto the left-hand side. So cactus that left arm, push down through your right hand to enable you to take your right hip on top of the left and then land that top foot behind you. Using that deep diaphragmatic breath here to enable us to go a little deeper. And on your next exhale, come back through center, a little wiggle through the hips, plant the hands by the shoulders, tuck the toes, we're pushing back up into our high plank, and then take the hips back into your downward facing dog. From here, right foot rises to the sky, and then step it towards the top of the mat, lowering down your back foot, letting the toes uncurl, and take your hands up to the sky, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. From here, we're going to roll through some chest openers. So on the exhale, open up, inhale, curl forwards and up. Exhale, spread open the chest. Inhale, curl forwards and up. One more. Back in to your low lunge, taking the left hand behind the left leg and your right hand up to the sky. Sorry, it should be the other hand. So your left hand up to the sky and your right hand behind your left leg. Really opening up into that left side body. And both hands down to the mat. Pushing through your hands, you're going to take that right leg back up to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhaling here, and on the exhale, we step that right foot back forwards. We're coming into our high lunge this time. Hands up to the sky. Inhale, and on the exhale, open up that chest. Take the arms forward. Inhale it back up. 2 more of these. A really strong foundation through the legs whilst the upper body is flowing. Final one. Inhale, back to your high lunge. And this time, right hand comes behind that left leg again. Left hand reaches up to the sky, opening up through that left hip flexor. Inhale here for one more. And on the exhale, windmill those hands back down to the mat. Take that right foot back up to the sky. Exhale, right foot goes towards the top of the mat again. And this time we're coming up into our warrior 3. So take flight, kicking that back foot, or imagining as if you're kicking that back foot against the wall. And then inhale, tuck your left knee into your chest, maybe wrapping your fingers around the knee, maybe having a little back bend here. Before we come into our tree pose. So left foot goes inside the right leg. It can go inside the inner thigh, the calf, or it can be down on the ground. And then bringing your hands into heart center. Finding a single point of focus, a single point of drishti for your gaze to rest upon. Inhale, bringing that knee back in front, straighten the left leg out. And then on your exhale, float it back through your warrior 3. Step it back to your high lunge. Hands down to the mat. Step right foot back. Move through your vinyasa. So maybe you're coming down through your chaturanga. You're upward facing on the inhale. And then your downward facing dog on the exhale. Deep inhale here. And maybe opening the mouth this time, let it all go. Moving on to the left-hand side. Left foot rises to the sky. And then on the exhale, step it forward, drop that back knee down and tuck the toes. Coming into our low lunge. Inhale. Exhale. We're moving through those fluid movements. Really seeing if you can open the chest a little bit further this time. One more. Moving with the music. And this time, left hand goes behind the right thigh. Right hand rises up to the sky. Both hands down to the mat. Tucking your back foot, left leg rise to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, left leg to the top of the mat. We're coming into that high lunge. Really building some heat and strength in the body. Finding your foundation before we start to move through that fluid upper body movement. Using your breath as your guide. One more. Knowing that wobbles are welcome. They show that you're working and building strength through the legs. Left hand to the back of the right leg. Right hand up to the sky. Maybe using your breath here to see if you can go a little bit deeper into the back bend. Windmilling both hands down to the mat. Left foot shoots back up to the sky, three-legged dog. And then on the exhale, we step it forward. We start to come light on that back foot. And we come up into our warrior three on our left-hand side. Hands in heart center, hands behind in the airplane, or maybe hands out in front, if you can keep your balance. Exhale, bringing that right knee into your chest, wrapping your fingers around it, maybe adding a little back bend. And then we're coming into our tree pose. So, right foot inside the left leg, maybe inside the inner thigh or the calf. And don't worry if this side feels different to the other. We are not perfectly symmetrical in our bodies. This time you may wish to take those hands up to the sky again. And if you're really comfortable here, you may wish to play with closing down the eyes. Not worrying if you wobble or fall out of it. Just coming back with a smile. Inhale, knee goes back out in front. Straighten that right leg. Float it back through your warrior three. High lunge. Moving through your vinyasa, windmill those hands down. On the exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done, everyone. Really, really strong. We'll be here for 2 breaths. From our downward facing dog, we're going to jump to the top of the mat and find ourselves in a seated position. Taking our hands out in front of us. On the exhale, we're slowly going to lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come and find yourselves on your back, taking your fingertips so you can tickle your heels. We're going to move through 2 rounds of bridge. So inhaling, curling those hips up to the sky, imagining you have a beach ball between those knees, so you really want them sucking in towards each other, pushing down through the hands, through the shoulders. One more inhale here. And on our exhale, we'll slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Maybe windscreen wiping those legs, left to right. Got one more round the bridge, final bit of effort. So if wheels in your practice, please go there. Or if you're coming with me, this time on the inhale, we're going to take our hands up over our head in our bridge pose. Again, remembering those knees, sucking in towards each other, turning on our outer glutes, really engaging those legs, pushing down through the heels. One more deep breath here. And on the exhale, we'll all lower down to our mat. Bring the hands back down beside us, windscreen wiping those legs. Gonna bring the knees into our chest. Just give ourselves a really generous, grateful hug, thanking our body for what it's enabled us to do today on the mat. No judgment, just gratitude. And then squeeze your body in really, really tight, squeezing up the face, the hands, the arm. And on your exhale, sigh and let it all go. Coming down to lie in Shavasana on your mat for our final resting pose. Really letting everything lie heavy here on the mat. You are totally supported by the ground. Just letting the benefits of the asana, the movement, the practice sink into the body before you go and engage with the rest of your day. And if you did set an intention at the beginning of practice, maybe just coming back to this and seeing if you can take it with you beyond the mat. If you wish to stay in Shavasana, please pause me now and just continue to soak in the benefits. If you're coming with me on our inhale, we're going to start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And in your own time, we're going to come and meet in a seated position at the top of the mat. Taking one big final inhale, taking the hands up to the sky. And on the exhale, bring your hands into your heart center. Opening the eyes and coming back to the space. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. That was your Dawn Patrol flow. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please tag them or write them below in the post or let me know on Instagram. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.